So a few people have asked me how I build some of these low poly shapes, and it's often a fair bit easier than you might think. Probably the most complex shape in this whole scene is these metal supports that you can see here. So I thought this would make a good addition to the Get Good at Blender series, where we try and make one of these together. I'd probably rate this about a 4 out of 10 for difficulty rating if you're wondering about where we are on the scale. I'll highlight the shape with / on my numpad, so you can see what it looks like. I've made it all sort of bent and distorted, but you don't really need to do that. But just have a good look at the shape now and have a think about how you might recreate it. You don't necessarily have to go through making the whole shape yourself, but it is a good exercise if you want to practice, and it will certainly help you to learn more. So if you want to try that, pause the video here and have a go at that. Otherwise, continue the video and see how I made it in a nice, quick and fairly efficient way. And if you like this style of learning with challenges and a methodical approach and are looking to learn Blender fast, then you'll be pleased to know that my 3-course bundle is back. Get 3 amazing courses still at the incredibly low price of $25. Discount link in the description. So let's get started with the challenges. Okay, so I'm in Blender 3.62, but this should work on earlier or later versions as well. There's nothing too complex. I'm in the basic startup file and my shortcut keys are down the bottom corner here. I'm just going to hide the light and the camera so they don't get in the way, and in fact use the default cube. Now you can see from the shape the basics of it is fairly symmetrical, so we can certainly utilize the mirror modifier. Now I like to do this the quick way with the auto mirror add-on. It comes with Blender, you just have to enable it, so edit, preferences, add-ons, type in auto, and there's the auto mirror there. Just make sure that's ticked and that you have auto save preferences on down here, and then close this down, press N on your keyboard, and you can go to the edit menu here, and there's the auto mirror up there. I'll go into edit mode so you can see what's happening. I want to auto mirror in the x-axis. So with the x-axis highlighted, press auto mirror, and you can see it's cut it in half for me. And if I go to the modifiers, you can see there's a mirror modifier there, and it's enabled clipping for me as well. So with one click, it's much faster. I basically want to work on just this corner here. So I'll need the Y and the Z axis. We'll start with the Y axis. Now the Y axis is slightly different because the Y, if you look at the letters here on our Cartesian coordinates, the letters indicate the positive direction, and Y, positive, is going away from us. We want to work on the front here, so always change the Y to negative, and then auto mirror, and you can see we've got this front corner here. The Z, however, is positive, so we can change it back to positive and auto mirror in the Z. And now we've got just our corner here. Now the only slight disadvantage to this is that it does create 3 mirror modifiers. You don't actually need 3, you can close these ones down and just have 1. Because that's much easier now. If I want to turn clipping on and off, I only have to tick once. Now ideally, I just want to work on the front, make the shape, and then copy it to the side here. So I'm going to go to face mode with 3 on my keyboard, or that's face mode up here, and delete these 2 faces. So select them both and press delete, then faces. So I'm left with this shape for now. I'll go to front view, zoom into this area, and Control R to do a loop cut. Left click to set the loop cut, and then move it into position. I'll go for 20 centimeters. And then left click there to set it in place. 20 centimeters is 2 of these smaller Blender units. I'll do the same going up, so Control R to do a loop cut, left click to set this, and then move it into position and left click again to set into place. Now I want to have a piece coming down here. I could go straight to the knife tool and cut it up. If you want to be a tiny bit more accurate, you can press Control R, left click, move this across to probably 1.5, about there. The same with the bottom here, Control R, left click, move that into position, about 1.5, left click again to set. That gives me 2 vertices here and here, which are helpful. I now go to face mode, delete these faces, so select them and press delete. I can go to edge mode with 2, that's edge mode up here, and select these 2 edges and press F to fill. So I've created a face in there. That's under the face menu as well. So there's fill just there. Now I can select this edge here, make sure you are in edge mode for this, and extrude it out. So E to extrude and bring it down here, and then we can line them up so they're just touching like this, and press enter. Now to fill this area in, I think it's best to press Control R across here and double left click, so that's set in place, and bring this vertex here out to the middle. So I'll press 1 to go to vertex mode. That's vertex mode up here. Select that vertex and press G to grab and move it into the middle. We should be able to squish it together because we've got clipping on, so it won't go any further than the middle. We can check these as well. G to grab in the x-axis to make sure that's clipped in properly, and this one as well, G then Z, to make sure that's stuck together. You could also, for efficiency, take this one and join it up to this one if you wanted a nice clean mesh here, but we may end up using this one for an extra piece that comes out from this area. And I'll talk about that in just a moment. But first, let's zoom out and see what we've got. It's a nice start, but we need to duplicate this shape around to the side here. That's fairly straightforward. The easiest way, I think, is to select this vertex here, press Shift S, and cursor to selected. So that's moved our 3D cursor to that vertex. And then I can change the transform pivot point up here to the 3D cursor. You can also find this menu by pressing period key on your keyboard, and then I can go to 3D cursor that way. Now I can select all these faces and duplicate them, rotate them around the Z-axis 90 degrees using the 3D cursor as my transform pivot point. But before I do that, I will have to turn clipping off. Otherwise, if I try and do it now, Shift D, R, Z, 90, or minus, in fact, minus 90, they're all stuck together. So I'll undo that, turn clipping off, Shift D, R, Z, minus 90 this time. And you can see that's gone across to the side there. And press enter, of course. And we've got our basic shape. I would say that's the hardest bit, really. So once you've got to this point, it's just a case of adding in some extras. Let's do a bit of that now. So first of all, you might want to solidify your shape. The easiest way to do that is add modifier solidify. And you can see that's solidified my shape. But there is one slight problem. Let's turn up the thickness a bit. It's difficult to see, but we actually have some overlapping geometry here because these points weren't joined together. So I'll just hide that modifier for the moment and go to vertex mode. If I select one of these vertices and press G to grab, you can see it's not joined. So I'll undo that. The way we join them is press A to select every vertex, M, and merge by distance. And because they're touching, you can see removed 4 vertices, 1, 2, 3, 4 just there. Now when I bring back the solidify modifier, it's still got a slight problem. It's not overlapping, but it's kind of going in the wrong direction. Now this is a common problem I see with lots of beginners, so have a quick think why this might be the case. Well, the selection should kind of give it away. You can see the selection of this side is pointing in the negative Y this way, but this is the reverse. So the normals are the wrong way round, the face direction. We can see that easily by going up to the overlays here, clicking on the drop down and face orientation. You can't see it at the moment, but if we turn the solidify modifier off, you can see that this side is the wrong way round. That's fairly easy to fix. I'll go to face mode with 3 on my keyboard, select all these faces, and Shift N is to flip those around. And you'll find that under the mesh menus there, the normal's just there. So now when I bring back the solidify, you can see that's looking a lot better. Still got a very slight issue. It's kind of dented in here. It's trying to make the length of here the same as the length of here. We can fix that by turning the even thickness on, and that makes this length longer, but makes it a nice even thickness. And that looks a lot better. Now the problem comes if I want to, let's say, add some sort of metal support onto here. If I go into edit mode and select these 2 faces, Alt E to extrude along normals, so Alt E, not just E, and then bring that out, you can see that it's messed up our solidify modifier. There's ways you can keep the solidify modifier on and do this. You could duplicate the faces, for example, and then pull them out. Go to top view for this with 7, Shift D to duplicate, move those out, and you can see we've got a sort of metal support there. Alternatively, if I undo that, you can just apply the solidify modifier if you want to kind of keep it all as one mesh. The advantage of simply duplicating this and pulling it out is that if I want to change the thickness, I can easily change the thickness of my entire shape with the modifier. Now in my example, I only extrude these edges here, but actually the metal supports would probably go all the way to the edge here and be much bigger. We can simply do that by going to vertex mode, selecting this vertex and pressing G twice, so GG as I like to say, and bringing that across. Probably better in front view so we're a bit more accurate. And I'll zoom into this. And I was a bit out, so I'll undo that and press GG again and try and get it a little bit more accurate this time. So somewhere around there looks good. I have to do the same around this side here. So I'll press 3 to go to side view and do the same. Obviously I could have done this earlier before I did the duplication of this side, but we'll just add it in here now as well. So somewhere around there. Select these faces and these faces. Then I'll jump to top view. Like I say, we could have pressed Alt E to extrude along the normals and extruded it out, but we do have to apply the solidify modifier if we're going to do that. Also, if you want this to be nice and even, we can use this drop down here and offset even. That will even this out and you get that nice ridge. However, I'm going to undo that and just duplicate it. So back to top view, Shift D to duplicate and just bring it out manually. I'll hold down Shift for smaller increments. And in fact, let's zoom in a little bit. So G to grab, hold down Shift, and it's just there. Now, yes, you do get twice as many faces there. And there's a bit of tidying up to do because I need to select these 2 faces here. I can do this by using snapping. So turn snapping on, choose vertex, and then press G to grab in the X, and then snap it across there. This one as well, here and here. G to grab in the Y this time, and snap it across to that one there. And we've got our sort of metal supports there. Of course, if I want to make the shape taller, then I can select the top here. In fact, I need to go into X-ray mode, select these ones here, G then Z to move that upwards like that. The very slight problem comes if I want to scale it as it goes upwards. So if I go to top view and press G to grab and move those in, it creates this bow-like effect like this. So you would need to apply the Z mirror in order to create an angled support. So I'll come out of X-ray mode. The last thing I think I did, I put an extra support in here, but I don't think I need to explain that after doing the top one here. I'll leave that for you for homework. Okay, so hopefully that explained how I made this object and gave you lots of handy hints and tips. If you've got any questions, then do comment below. Also, if you've got any thoughts and ideas for future episodes of this series, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.